Hey guys, Talk here, back with another video. This is the millionth time of me recording things, so sorry if I sound annoyed. And this is my final take on why I think artists might hate their own work. Now, if you notice something, you might notice that this doesn't have a watermark. I found something known as ISpring recording thing, or software, I think it's called that. It's ISpring, and I think it works a little bit better than OBS for me, and I like it. So yeah, what's this video about? I think I might have already said it, but this is on why I think artists might hate their own work and what to do if you find yourself not liking your own work, because you know, your art matters, you matter. So basically why I think artists might hate their own work. So I think this can boil down to a multitude of things. Artists can hate their own work for many reasons, but these are three reasons that I tend to find for myself. So, bear with me. So, one of the things I seem to find, at least for myself, when it comes to me hating my own work, is that it can be me just being my own worst critic, or maybe a little bit of a self-esteem thing with my art. And what I mean by that is sometimes, for one, you can be your own worst critic, and you notice all the flaws in your work, and because of that, you feel bad about all these different mistakes that you make. And I completely understand. I've been there all the time. Also, it could be because, say, people are being rude to you about your art, say they're being very rude and destructive, they might be telling you to stop drawing, something like that. It's never fun when people are like that. I've been in that situation far too many times, sadly, and it's just not fun, and sometimes those words can get to you, and it's not the greatest. And what you can do in one of those situations, so first off, if it's constructive criticism that they're giving you and you're feeling a bit bad about it, I understand. I advise to try to take the critique. Of course you don't have to. I advise when it comes to criticism, the take it or leave it mentality. I personally have that in terms of that if they have something of value, of something I could actually improve upon, I try to take it to the best of my ability. If they're being a little bit vague, just by saying the eyes are off without really elaborating, ask them to elaborate. And then maybe sit back and realize, hey, this thing that I'm doing might not be working with my style, and I can improve. It's just one of those things that you can do. And another thing that you can do, say if somebody's attacking you or being mean to you about your art or harassing you, I advise just not to give them the time of day, and if it's getting really bad, just block them. The block button's there for a reason. It's so people like that don't bother you. And so if they're getting really bad, just block them. If they're trolling you or something, just don't feed the trolls. Move on with your day. If it's getting real bad, just block them. No big deal. Just block them. Of course, you shouldn't be blocking somebody for trying to give you constructive criticism. That's a completely different thing. But if somebody's giving you a really hard time, just block them. And maybe if you're feeling really bad about your art or something because of what they might be saying, just, you know, take a little break, or maybe spend time with family, or sit back and realize, hey, I'm actually really good at X, Y, or Z, and I'm not going to let these comments get to me. And I think that can help. So, another thing this can be is a lack of experience in whatever you might be feeling bad about. Now, for some people this might be hands, for other people this might be colors. It's all different for every person. And sometimes it's that you know how to draw, it's just you don't know how to draw that specific thing. And I feel ya. I've been there. I'm there a lot of the times, like, oh my gosh, I know how to draw, but I just can't draw this one specific thing. What's wrong with me? Like, why is my art so bad? How am I drawing such horrible things in this specific thing? Or why can't I do X, Y, or Z? Like, I get ya, I feel ya, I understand. I've been there, so don't feel too bad. My advice maybe is to just do some studies in whatever it is. If it's, say, it's anatomy, don't feel bad if you have to, say, trace a photo. Of course, you shouldn't post that image because, you know, it's traced. Just don't post traced images. Probably not the greatest thing to do, but honestly, if you just do that and maybe say, like, for an example, this is a traced version of this circle. And then once you're done tracing, you can use whatever you did, obviously, from muscle memory, and using that as a reference afterwards, you can draw that circle a heck of a lot better. something like that's fine. It's a-okay to do that. Like, lots of artists do that. It's a common way to practice and improve, and just do some studies, find new things, whether it's a new medium, it's a new art style, find something that works, and maybe you'll feel a little bit less bad, because you're like, hey, now I know how to do it, or, hey, I know how to make it work with X, Y, or Z. Like, it's not something to be ashamed of, definitely not. So, there's my advice there. And another thing it could be is art burnout. And what I mean by that is that sometimes you've been creating so much, or maybe too little, and you're just not up to doing it, or maybe you're just in a funk, maybe, that no matter what you do is just not turning out right, and you just can't make it work. And, you know, I feel ya. I have been there. I totally have been there. And it's not a fun thing to go through, but if you just maybe take a break, that can help. But of course, if you're on a deadline, whether it's commissions or something, try to get it done as best you can, because obviously someone's paying for that. If it's really too much, just let the person know, hey, I'm not able to create today, just not able to for whatever reason. Just let them know that you're still going to be working on it, it's just that you're not able to at that moment. They should be able to understand. Like, it's no big deal. Of course, just try to get it done as best you can if you are in a commission situation, but otherwise, just take a break, do what makes you feel right, don't overexert yourself. Your mental health matters a lot more than you creating something that day. That is for sure. So, yeah. So, if this was too long, even though it's 6 minutes and 46 seconds, so far, basically my advice is, honestly, just try to do what makes you feel best, try to do something that will inspire you, take a break, spend time with family, do something that will make you feel better, try new things. That can really help. And honestly, if you're not able to do anything, that's a-okay, I understand. Honestly, no one's forcing you, unless, of course, it's a deadline. And 3 things I tend to find for myself when it comes to me hating my own work is that it can be a lack of experience, it can be me feeling bad because of how I've been treated in terms of my art or what people have said to me. I understand. Just try to push through it. Don't let the haters get you down. Sometimes it can just be me being overworked and I'm just not able to create much that day. And hey, it's okay. People understand. So I hope you can get something from this. Of course, this isn't scripted. This is Hawk signing out.